Tonight, you'll pour a glass of milk without thinking twice. It came from a cow. That feels completely normal. But somewhere out there, right now, a lioness is nursing her cubs. Her milk is thick, rich, almost like cream. You've never tasted it. You never will. Not because it's illegal, not because it's disgusting, because your body might not survive it. Most people assume all milk is basically the same stuff, just from different animals. That's not even close to true. Milk is a chemical code written by evolution for one specific baby, and predator milk was never written for you. Scientists who study milk across species call it comparative lactation. Researchers like Olav Oftedal spent decades comparing milk from over 100 species. What he found should change how you think about that glass in your fridge. So what's actually hiding inside predator milk? And why does your body treat it like a threat instead of a drink? Stay till the end. The last part is the one that quietly applies to every dairy product you've ever loved. Let's start with fat. Cow milk is about 4% fat. Light, easy, familiar. Lion milk is closer to 10% fat. Seal milk can hit 50% fat. 50. That's not milk anymore. That's closer to whipped butter. Here's why. A baby seal has 30 days, sometimes less, to build enough blubber to survive freezing water. There's no time for slow growth. So the mother's body pumps out something closer to fuel than food. Now imagine you're standing on that ice, wind cutting through you, water below freezing. A seal pup, days old, drinking a liquid so rich it's basically solid energy. That pup will double its body weight in under 2 weeks. No human baby does that, ever. Now imagine you drank that same liquid tonight. Your gut isn't built for a 50% fat drink. It's built for something closer to 4%. Your body would revolt before you even finish the glass. But fat is only the beginning, because predator milk isn't just richer, it's engineered differently at the molecular level. Think about it this way. A wolf pup is born blind, deaf, and completely helpless. For the first few weeks, it has almost no immune system of its own. So the mother's milk has to do the immune system's job for her. Wolf and lion milk carry high concentrations of immune proteins, things like lysozyme and immunoglobulins, essentially pre-built defense molecules. It's not just nutrition, it's a temporary immune system delivered in liquid form. Your body already has its own immune system. It doesn't need someone else's defense code flooding your bloodstream. But here's what's fascinating. The differences don't stop at fat and immunity. They go all the way down to sugar. Human milk and cow milk are relatively high in lactose, milk sugar. That's because lactose is a fast, efficient fuel for a rapidly growing brain. Human babies' brains triple in size in the first year. They need that sugar. But true predators, their milk is often lower in lactose. Why? Because carnivores, even as babies, don't process sugar the same way herbivores or omnivores do. Their bodies are wired around processing protein and fat for energy, not sugar. So the milk matches the metabolism it was built for. Give a human that low-sugar, high-fat, immune-loaded liquid, and you're not giving your body what it expects. You're giving it a foreign formula. So what killed the idea of predator milk before it ever started? Partly, it's practical. You cannot milk a lioness. But even if you somehow could, there's a deeper reason we'd never build an industry around it. Every dairy animal humans have ever domesticated shares one thing in common. They're herbivores. Cows, goats, sheep, even camels, water buffalo, yaks. Every single one eats plants, produces massive quantities of milk, and can be safely handled in a herd. Predators don't work that way. A lioness produces a small amount of milk for a small number of cubs and would kill you before you got near her udder. There's no domesticated predator dairy animal anywhere on Earth. Not one. Not in all of human history. That's not an accident. It's a filter evolution and practicality built together. But let's go deeper, because there's something even stranger buried in this story. Picture early humans, tens of thousands of years ago, watching a wolf den from a distance. They saw the pups. They saw the mother. They never once thought, let's drink what she's making. Instinct told them what science would later prove, that milk was not meant for them. Instead, those same early humans eventually turned to grazing animals. Slow, manageable, abundant. That single choice, thousands of years ago, quietly shaped an entire food system you still live inside today. Every carton in your fridge is a descendant of that decision. So what did they choose instead? And why does it still control what you're allowed to digest? Most adult humans on Earth cannot properly digest milk at all. Around 65% of the global adult population is lactose intolerant. Not lactose intolerant to lion milk, lactose intolerant to regular cow milk. Wait, let that sink in. Most of humanity already struggles to digest the safe, herbivore, low-fat option. So why can some people drink milk their whole lives without a problem? This comes down to a genetic mutation. Researchers studying lactase persistence, including genetic work led by scientists like Nabil Sabri Enattah in the early 2000s, traced it back thousands of years. Somewhere around 7,000 to 9,000 years ago, in populations tied to early cattle herding cultures in Europe and parts of Africa, a mutation appeared. It let some adults keep producing lactase, the enzyme that breaks down milk sugar, well into adulthood. Before that mutation, no adult human on Earth could drink milk comfortably, not even cow milk. Babies could, adults couldn't. That's the ancestral, default setting for every human being who has ever lived. The ability to drink milk as an adult isn't the normal human condition. It's a genetic upgrade some populations evolved, purely because they happened to live alongside dairy animals. So when you pour that glass tonight, you're not just drinking milk. You're drinking proof of a mutation. Now bring predator milk back into the picture. If most humans already struggle with mild-mannered cow milk, a liquid built for a 30-day blubber sprint, or a brain wired to run on fat and protein instead of sugar, would hit your gut like a completely different food group. Not milk. Something closer to a supplement built for another species entirely. But it's not only about digestion. There's a second danger hiding in predator milk. One most people never consider: concentration. Because predators sit at the top of the food chain, whatever they eat gets concentrated in their bodies, including toxins, heavy metals, environmental pollutants, certain compounds that build up over a lifetime of eating other animals. A herbivore eats plants directly from the ground. A predator eats animals that ate plants that ate the ground. Each step up that chain, concentrations rise. Scientists call this biomagnification, and milk, being fat-rich, is exactly the kind of tissue where those compounds tend to accumulate. So predator milk isn't just nutritionally foreign. In some cases, it could be carrying a lifetime of concentrated toxins, passed straight into a liquid you'd be expected to drink. That's one more filter nature quietly built in, long before we understood why. Here's the part almost nobody thinks about. Milk isn't a universal liquid, it's a message. Every species writes its own version, based on how fast the baby needs to grow, how helpless it is at birth, and what threats it needs to survive. A seal pup needs blubber in weeks, so its milk screams fat. A wolf pup needs defense before it can defend itself, so its milk whispers immunity. A human baby needs a fast-growing brain, so its milk hums with sugar. And you've spent your entire life drinking a message meant for a baby cow. Most of us never even think about it. We just call it milk, like it's one single thing. But it's not one thing. It's thousands of different biological instructions, each one locked to a single species, a single survival strategy, a single moment in time. You drink the instructions meant for a calf, and your body largely accepts them. Try the instructions meant for a lion cub, and your body would reject them almost immediately. So the next time you see that carton in your fridge, look at it differently. It's not neutral. It's not universal. It's a leftover code written millions of years ago for an animal that was never you. And somewhere out there, right now, a lion cub is drinking a code written just as specifically for it. 2 glasses. 2 completely different messages, both saying the exact same thing in different languages. Grow, survive, become what you're supposed to be. We just happened to be the species that figured out how to steal someone else's message and somehow make it work most of the time. Because even the safe milk you trust, the one sitting in your fridge right now, still isn't fully compatible with most adult bodies on this planet. You're not fully built for cow milk either. You just happen to carry the mutation that lets you get away with it.